Hey guys, on today's episode of Time Clock Killer Podcast, we sit down with A-Aron, the CEO of Excellence Above Talent and of YOLO. Forgive the audio, I was not able to record in my normal settings, but I do believe that you will find some great information. He really goes into detail about certain subjects that I think will bless your life tremendously. So without further ado, here we go.
Hey, Time Clock Killers, and welcome to another edition of the Time Clock Killers podcast, where we educate, inspire, and encourage new and aspiring entrepreneurs to clock out for good.
I'm your host, Nathan.
And I'm your co-host, Kara. Let's jump right in.
Appreciate you being on the podcast, dude. Taking out some time. I know you are a busy man trying to conquer the world. So, man.
Not conquer, change
the world.
Yes, sir.
My bad.
Yes, sir.
Let me get my wording right.
Yeah.
Nah, that's what's up. So yeah, man, this is gonna be like a very cool conversation talk, man. We for those who don't know, he is in Odessa. I am in Dallas, Fort Worth to be exact. Man, we always have some really dope conversations. So hopefully we can transfer those conversations to video. Hopefully the intent of this podcast is to give people some good advice, things to maybe think about, their life a little bit more deeper. And ultimately, like he said at the beginning, is for change. If we are talking and it doesn't spark any change inside of you, then the talking was useless.
Yeah, we ain't doing our job.
We're definitely not doing our job. We've been trying to get on the podcasting together for a little while. So I'm excited. I think we have a pretty jam-packed show. And so without further ado, Aaron, tell the people a little bit more about yourself, man. What do you got going on?
So man, I work with the Crisis Center of West Texas. I got a few jobs. So I work with the Crisis Center of West Texas, teach people who have been abusive ways to not be abusive. We kind of hold them accountable for their action. Talk about trust, communication, love, respect. And then from that job, I was motivated to start Excellence Above Talent. And it's a movement. It's a lifestyle. It's people being held accountable, pushing forward, moving forward. Trying to be the best human that they can be. And then I also have a youth program, and it's called YOLO, and that stands for Youth Opportunity to Learn and Observe. And we're trying to help underserved kids, underserved young adults. Get their GED, find jobs, kind of push them towards school, just kind of give them that push in life that, they might not get from the people that's in their life at this moment.
Okay.
For sure.
How long have you been doing that?
So I've been doing the Crisis Center of West Texas for about 3.5 years. I've been doing Excellence Above Talent for about a year and a half. And the YOLO program I started doing about 6 months ago.
So Excellence Above Talent. What's the premise behind Excellence Above Talent? Like, what does that mean? What does that stand for? Give me a little breakdown. Because I mean, personally, when I hear Excellence Above Talent, it's when it speaks to me from the perspective of people can be really great at things, really good at things, but they don't have some people can be really talented, but they don't have the work ethic to be excellent in it. So therefore, you have a bunch of people walking around that are talented, but they're not excellent. And that word is like something that is missing from taking you from being good to great, so that's how me personally, like when I hear about it, like that's how it speaks to my spirit. So talk a little bit more about that concept and kind of go into detail about that.
Man, you hit it. You hit it spot on. Uh, Excellence above talent is we as human beings are all talented. We all have our gifts. We all have things that we're good at, and there's only a select few that bring that talent out to excel at what they do. And so, what I have found out is there's a few things in life that helps you excel better or excel more in life. And the first thing is accountability. Like, you can't be looking around trying to blame anyone for where you're at in your life. You just take 100% accountability for it. And I have a philosophy that everything is my fault. So there is no looking around trying to figure out, whose fault it is. I go look in the mirror and I try to find out what I can do better in this situation.
So wait, before you go off that point, break down that point. You just said, and if I'm looking down, I'm also like writing notes and stuff. So you said everything is your fault. Like,
yeah.
Kind of go a little bit more in detail about what that means. Are you literally saying everything is your fault? That everything that happens and your world is your fault?
I am a big believer in energy, and we all have 24 hours a day, and we all have that same energy to do, good things with that energy. And so when I come into the realization that everything is my fault, there's a lot of energy not wasted on trying to figure out who to blame in that situation. Instead of like looking to blame, I'm looking to find problems. I'm looking to find solutions to those problems, if that makes sense. And so at the end of the day, when I say it's my fault, even if it's not my fault, I'm still trying to find solutions to the problems that have occurred. And if I can't do nothing for it, then I can't do nothing. I'll walk away, and it is what it is. But if I can help out and help with that problem, then that's what I'll do. And so when I say everything is my fault, like that is how I live. It's my fault, and let me find a solution for it.
Well, let me tell the people out there, that right there is gonna free your life up 10,000%.
For sure.
Because a lot of us go through life playing a blame game. Like blaming everybody, blaming everything but yourself. So when you actually take a full accountability for every action and every outcome, like, you then will have more control over your life, and you'll realize nothing else controls my life besides me. You know what I mean? Like, my 100%. Actions control everything. I nothing controls how I feel about something. Nothing controls how I respond to something. It's all about how I actually me taking accountability. Okay. So I just wanted to get further clarification about that. Okay, so back to excellence above talent. So one of the points that you said was accountability, and then I think you can pick up where you left off there.
And then the last one, it's only two for me: accountability and consistency. Okay. In order for you to excel in your talents, you have to, like I said, hold yourself accountable, and then you have to be consistent. Even if there are times you don't want to do it, you just have to do it, because life doesn't stop for anyone. And it doesn't stop for you. And so, there are times whenever I wake up in the morning, I'm like, man, I do not want to. But I get up because I know that I'm going to have to do it again. If not that morning, the next morning, or the morning, after. And so at some point, I'm going to get back up and start doing it again. So I might as well just keep pushing forward. And it's also good to have, my wife, she's she really helped me out in that process of, when I'm like, nah, let's try to go to the 9:30 class. And she's like, nah, get up. and then you get up because that's what you need to do in order to start your day off right. So to
Cool.
to me, if you're talented, and you're trying to reach that level to get better and to excel at what you do, to me those are the two things that are a game changer.
So excellence above talents can be summed down from my notes into into two things, and it's accountability and consistency.
For sure.
That's awesome.
For sure.
So listen, I got a segment on this podcast called Right or Wrong. Right?
Hey, listen, and you know me. I don't believe anyone to be right or wrong. I just want to be heard and understood, and I hope that you are heard and understood as well.
Okay, so for you, is heard or unheard? Heard or unheard?
Well, you don't got to be unheard. Just put heard, and we're done with it. You know what I mean?
Heard. The segment called Heard, right?
Yeah.
So I was talking to my brother earlier today, and we have been having a conversation spanning over the last week or so about what I'm about to talk about.
For sure.
And you guys, you can chime in. Like you said, I don't know. I don't think there's a right, and I don't think there's a wrong. I just think it's a difference of perspectives, and that's a beautiful thing in life. So let me tell you. So my brother called me today, and I was like, man, you know what's going on? He was like, oh, man, I just started, I started Ubering, right? And he's doing Grubhub, right? It was Grubhub, right?
Nah, DoorDash.
So he was doing DoorDash, right? And so he's talking to me. He was like, bro, I had a dude who spent like close to $40 on his meal and didn't tip. So me, I'm not under the impression that matter of fact, A-Aron, explain to me why that upset you so much. Not even upset you, but explain to me why it was something that kind of got to you so much to where you would need to even tell me that he didn't tip.
Well, it wasn't. So the way you set that up, it didn't sound right. So I think a couple of weeks back, our sister wrote something on Facebook like, dude went to the restaurant, spent $100 and left a $2 tip. I can't mess with him. And I'm like, 100%, like the dude's character is flawed. Like I wouldn't be able to, like, he wouldn't be my friend. And so that's kind of how that conversation started first. But no,
you're right.
So today, right. I was out and about doing DoorDash. Dude bought some food, took it to him, dropped it off, no tip, about $40 worth of food. And so I'm just gonna say this right now. Like I don't feel like I need a tip or like I expect a tip. So let's just go ahead and get that out the way. Like I'm not entitled to the tip without a doubt. Like homie bought the food. DoorDash paid me the fee to go pick up the food and drop it off to him. It's his choice to give me the tip or not, right? But he didn't give me the tip. And so I called my little brother and we kind of had a conversation about, people who don't tip. I question their character. Like I wouldn't be able to like hang out with them because I'm a big believer in The Secret. The universe speaks. And so one thing the universe has always told me is treat people how you want to be treated. And the fact that you don't feel the need to take care of people who are taking care of you, it just rubs me the wrong way.
So I totally understand that perspective. And for a disclaimer, I tip.
I don't know, bro.
I
don't know if you do. Hey, listen,
I tip, bro. I tip, no cap.
Listen, like if someone ever comes to me and says, I'm a man, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a man, And I'm like, are you a man though? Why do you have to tell me you're a man? You know what I mean? Why do you
We
have
low
to
key,
tell me you tip?
we low key should probably have. We should probably uh, tag caveat in this conversation next
Oh,
time
for
so you can get
sure.
a
Because
perspective.
Cavian will give you probably the same perspective I'm giving you.
But from my perspective, and I have a different perspective about it, right? If I paid $40 for some food, like once ding goes off on your phone, I am like providing a job for that person, right? To get in their car and to go earn some extra money. Like I'm not a bad person if I decide not to tip you. You know what I'm saying? Like I just chose not to tip this time. And I was having a conversation before we got off or like prior, and my wife went to the jumping park and a woman came, and there was a group of them, and she said, "Hey guys, uh, you know, you don't have to tip, but understand she gets paid $2.35 an hour. So so my thing is this: do you think it's time for us to like start looking at the way waiters and hostesses get paid? Because I don't think it's okay for a restaurant making lots of money to pay somebody $2. Like I'm not saying pay them $15 an hour. I'm saying give them something to where it's more stable. You know what I mean? So that if nobody tips, so because it's so much pressure on a consumer to tip this person because that's all we hear is these like, oh, we're getting $1, $2. Dude, I don't care if I'm getting tips or not. I don't know who's tipping and who's not tipping. So I wouldn't be working for 230. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
do you
so
think
this is the thing now. So we're talking about business, right? And so you have to look at the whole spectrum of everything. If the restaurants charge or the waiters and waitresses, 10, 11, 12, $15, what happens to our food costs?
I said not 15. I'm
Well, no, no,
saying
no,
at
no.
least
I
give
mean,
them.
even at 10, even at $10, what happens to that food cost? If they're getting paid $10 an hour,
Oh, it goes up for
I mean,
sure.
it goes up. So at the end of the day, I feel like we as the customers are saving anyway. If someone's willing to work for $2.50, and there's an expectation that I try to tip you 10 to 20% of my bill, like I don't see why there is a big issue with just taking care of the people that's you're around. I'm a big believer in we're on this earth to take care of uh, the people that surround us, and so there's no for me there's no reason to go to a restaurant, have $100 worth of food, and leave a $2 tip.
So
I just think that's you not taking care of your brother or your sister, that most likely needs that tip in order to survive.
so big picture, and
Uh-huh.
then we'll go the big picture, I guess, to where not making it so one on one. I believe that waiters and restaurants even have like a separate law for how they pay their people that wait tables. So what I'm saying is, um, and you guys can tell me what you think. Drop a comment below. Hit up A-Aron. If you agree or disagree, just let us know. But I think that overall, there needs to be like unions or something for people who decide to get into the restaurant business. Like, I don't think that $2 an hour, I don't care how many tips or how popular is reasonable in the climate, especially now, the climate that we live in. So many people have been affected by COVID. Money's not as 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 flowing as it used to be. So there needs to. I'm not saying $10 an hour. I'm not saying 15. I'm saying at least start the people off at like $7, $8. Like at least if they don't get no tips that night, they at least know that I got a paycheck coming in. You know what I mean? As opposed to like basically um, waiting for the consumer to meet the needs of your of your living because this restaurant is only paying you $2 an hour. So I think the bigger picture is, there needs to be something in place to where the people need to get paid a little bit more than $2.35, and B, if they were paid a little bit more, at least minimum wage, then it takes the pressure off of the waiter, because now if they don't get a tip for a big table or whatever you want to call it, their whole night's not thrown off because at least they're still going to get their, you know what I'm saying, their hourly rate, whatever the case is. But it takes some pressure off of that waiter to actually be able to do their job really how they want to do, how they want to do their job, as opposed to like, man, this person ain't tip me, or this demographic of people don't tip very well. Like, nah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like pay the people, and then in return, that person is going to be able to like provide the service that's needed. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, this is my thing. If we're gonna be tipping people for serving us or at restaurants, then anybody who's in a service industry needs to be getting tipped. And how come we're not talking about no other business or no other industry that people that come and wash your cars, the guy that wipes your window before you take it? It's so many different services that
I
people
tip
are
them
in.
all. I
Well,
listen.
you
I
tip
tip
them
them
all
all.
though. You know
I
what I
tip
mean?
them all because I have seen how a lot of because we're trying to reach the same heights as some of these people who have money,
For
right?
sure.
Like we're not there, but we're on our way there. And I just see what they do, and I see how money just always keeps flowing in their direction. Again, you know, you treat people how you want to be treated. The universe comes back and it takes care of you. And there's a quote that I told you that I said I love and I always think about, and it's by Zig Ziglar. And he said, if you help people get what they want in life, you get everything you want in your life. And so, like that $5, like, what is it hurting for you to just give that $5 to the young man who maybe is trying to go to school or help his mother out? Like, we don't know what his issue is. Just give him that money and go about your business and watch how it comes back to you, 10 times. Right. And so
So
to me,
so
it's
vice versa though, what
uh-huh.
is it hurting for the restaurant to pay him a living wage?
No, listen.
You know
I,
what I'm saying? Like it
I
all goes
100%.
together.
No, I 100% get what you're saying, but I also don't want to pay, premium dollar for McDonald's or premium dollar for, somewhere where I don't know why I said McDonald's because they don't have waiters or waitresses. But Chili's,
So
you know what I mean?
so
Like I'm
what
not.
you're saying is so what you're saying
Uh
is
huh.
you don't want to pay a few extra dollars for a meatloaf at Chili
See, I don't
because
think it's going to be a few extra dollars though. Like they have to find a way to make that money back somehow. And I feel like a tip going to the waitress or waiter is a lot less expensive than them putting more money in their pockets and having the food go up.
so that's exactly what I'm saying. There's so much pressure for the consumer to provide for this waiter, and
What
it
I mean,
relieves all the pressure off of the actual person
what no, but what
that has
pressure?
a business.
What pressure is that? There's no
But
that's not a pressure.
the
Like, listen,
pressure of
guess what happens? If somebody doesn't tip, somebody else will. Like, they will at some point get their money back. I'm just a big believer in that. Like
100%.
so if someone 100%. Does someone dirty and someone else comes in and they tip them more, it offsets that. So I mean, I think it offsets eventually to where like the money that they need is the money that they get. But I just feel like if someone is doing something for you or taking care of you in any way, doing a job that you didn't want to do, I get it. You've already paid. But if they're going over and beyond and they're taking care of you, then I would tip the person or the people that are taking care of me.
Cool. So let's move on from that. And I think what you said was right. I think I was looking up the statistics. It does even out of people who tip big or people who tip small. It's really cool. It actually evens out like the whole playing field.
Yeah.
Man, I need to be tipping my wife then.
100%.
She should be rich.
And guess what? And you don't got to tip her in like money. You can tip her and saying, "I appreciate you, boo," and the back rubs and foot rubs and cooking and cleaning, over the top or more.
I'm throwing one. You feel me? I'm throwing one.
I feel
all right, man. Let's actually get to the podcast, right? I think man, we can have so many conversations about that, dude. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Sure. You would think people, you know what I'm saying? So I know I titled the podcast and something that we was talking about, and it was like a new normal, like defining our new normal, right?
Yeah.
And so to kind of preface it, and I definitely want to get your intake on this, I was talking to my wife, and my wife said, I want a 8 or 9 bedroom house, right? 5, 6 bathroom, big backyard. And she told a few people that, right? And the response every single time was, why do you need that much house? Why do you want something that big? Right? Every single person. And then I got to thinking, why not? Like, you have to live in a house anyway. Why not live in a 7 bedroom house if you got, kids? You know what I'm saying?
Why not live in a house you want to live in?
Why not live in a house you want to live in? Like, bro, like, you already got to live in a house. Like, I'm living in my house. You're living in your house. You already got to live in a house.
Yeah.
So why not want to live in the best house? And so I got to thinking, why is it that our normal is average?
Yeah.
Like, we have a if you take basketball, football, right? There is no great player that they're average across the board, points per game, rebounds, field goals. Like, there's no great player where everything across the board is average. It's not normal. You know what I mean? It has surpassed all expectations that were put before him in the span of time that they were playing ball.
Yeah.
In any sport, right?
Yeah.
So to kind of, and I definitely want to get your opinion on this, to kind of go into this situation, our life, right? Our job, what we do on a day-to-day basis, these are our stats.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? These are our stats. It might not be somebody physically taking stats on a piece of paper, but your life and how you live is what's taking stats. You know what I mean?
Your bank account is what takes stats.
Man, your bank account is what's taking stats.
For sure.
So what I'm saying is, and this is my question, and I want you to jump right in here. If we live if our life is uh, across the board, our stat line, our bank account, our everything is just average and some below average, does that mean we need to start adopting a new normal to start living by, right? Like
Yeah.
a new routine. Like we need to do something different because the results that are yielding from what we're doing right now isn't gonna get us to the championship. So what's your thoughts on that, man?
Man, I kind of just want to blow up like the normal. I don't feel like if if you're going over and beyond Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? Like the normal for him stopped being normal after his second or third year in the league, right? Like that dude ain't normal, right?
Mm-mm.
And so I kind of want to take it to that level of like I want people to look at me and look at you and look at the people in our life and be like they're not normal because they took normal and the new normal and they just blew it up, right? So
Mm.
I want to throw like a crazy monstrous goal out there, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to chase that goal. I want to chase the goals that I have that are ahead of me, right? And I feel like at some point there's a shift, and that person then becomes like abnormal.
Mm.
That person then becomes above average, and people start looking up to that person of like you know what are they doing to get there type deal, right? And so to me, I think the new normal is you know just blowing it all the way up, setting some crazy goal, and then working each day to try to get to that crazy goal, and
All
then
right, so
and then just kind of seeing how because at the end of the day, like you can set a goal, but life will take you to places that you never thought you could go, right? Because of you just throwing a goal out there and saying like this is what I want, and then life's just like no, this is kind of where you need to go. And so yeah, I mean, I just think just blowing it up and being that person to where people point and be like that ain't normal.
so in your life, give me give me an example of an area of your life where you were average to where you realized you were average and you made a decision to not be average, but but take us through the thought process, the steps, the uh, um, the mental um, aspect that it took you to realize um, from being average to being not average, like there's a gray area right in between that step. So take us through the steps of what you did in what area in your life and why did you do it and why did you deem it to be necessary to do it?
I mean, going back to what my company stands for, excellence above talent. And so when I talk about accountability, self love is in there. Like I don't love myself if I don't hold myself accountable for my actions and for the things that I've done in my life. And so I realized like I didn't like the person that I saw in the mirror, and that was the first person that had to change in order for me to address this normal to become like above average, right? And so I started addressing the person that was in the mirror. I started letting him know that he was enough, letting him know that he was loved, letting him know that he was going to have a great day no matter how he felt, letting him know that God loves him. And so um, once I started feeling that love of myself, that's when a lot of things began to change for me. Then I was able to then look at how I was treating the people that was in my life and saying like, you know what, that's not how I'm treating myself, right? And so now I have to shift and make sure that I'm treating them how I'm treating me. And from there, it just I started to hold myself accountable for every area of my life. The more love I felt for myself, the better I felt like I had to be. Right? Like, I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephews, and I love them to the point of like I want them to be better, right? And so that's the kind of love that I had for me. Like I wanted myself to be better, and then from there, you just constantly push yourself, and of course you fall down, and it sucks sometimes, and you just want to quit, but the love for you says you have to keep going because we want to see how far we can go in order to like make an impact and do great things in this world.
So, where did that? How did that happen? Like, how did you lose your self love for yourself? At what point in your life?
Um, the noise of your parents telling you what you should do, the noise of your friends saying what you should do, the noise of if you have a spouse, them telling you what to do, you not knowing what to do, so you take on pieces of everyone else, and you become this person that you don't recognize in the mirror, and so it comes from just the noise that's all around you, that's telling you what you should and shouldn't do. It's the people that are putting you in a box and saying because you are a brown man in this world, this is what you should be doing. This is what you should be doing. And so at that point, then you have bits and pieces of yourself in everyone's boxes, right? And so when one person comes around, you're this way. When another person comes around, you're this way. When your mom comes around, you're this way. But when you are by yourself, when you need you the most, you don't even come for you because you're everywhere else. And so that is a very lonely place to be because you're not even talking to yourself. It's just a black space. And we all want to know who we are truly as a person. And I feel like once I stop caring about what anyone said is when I began to start loving myself more. And there was one thing that really helped me out. It's Lisa Nichols. She's a motivational or a transformational speaker. And she said, every day you wake up, do not hide, protect, defend, or prove who you are to anyone. And when I heard that, that changed my whole entire life. So every day when I wake up, I'm not hiding, protecting, defending, or proving myself to no one. What you see is me. And if you don't like me, toodles. you can skip rocks. And if you do like me, we can mesh. We can have that conversation.
So no, that's really good. So man, would you say based off what you said, like you're acting different with your mother, with your sister, with your homeboys, with your wife? So would you say that a lot of our issues as humans is um, just based off of that premise? We are 8 different people trying to operate in one body, right?
100%.
Like if I'm acting different around you, if I'm acting different around my mama, that's 2 different people. My wife, that's 3 different people. At the job, there's 4 different people. Like, bruh, how many people can we possibly be operating under? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and so a lot of our issues, I would even attribute like success and everything else. Like, and back to the subject of what's like a new normal. The new normal is like you pointed out. it's being in solidarity with oneself.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, there is the noise is so important because not the noise, but you being able to block out the noise.
Yeah.
It's so important because, dude, the older I get, the more I realize, like, bro, you can't please everybody anyway.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And the people that you are trying to please, you're gonna let them down. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You're going to let them down. Like, the only way to really be at peace with oneself is if yourself is in solidarity with yourself.
For sure.
Like, I wake up, and if I can equate it to this, when you wake up and, let's just say you wake up and as soon as you get up, there's 5 different clones of you going out into the world, right? And all these clones have different personalities that have to adapt and be everywhere and be, smile and fake and all of that stuff. But your real body is just still standing there at the foot of the bed. You ain't even left the bed yet.
Mm-hmm.
You got clones all over the place. And then whenever all these clones come back to you, bro, you're depressed, you're broken down,
Yeah.
because like you said, you're big on energy.
Yeah.
Everybody's energy, and you're giving out, and it's all fake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's all fake. So by the time it gets back to you, like, man, you're depressed, you're sad, you're not able to fully be, there with your wife and your kids.
And you're
Like,
lonely. You're lonely in your head.
you're lonely, yeah.
That's the worst place to be. Like, I feel in any aspect of life is lonely, but not lonely in the sense of like no one's around you, but lonely in the sense of like even you yourself, you're lonely of, yearning to be who you truly want to be. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And I think that to me is, I mean, that depression, that, the suicidal thoughts, the anger, the frustration. I think we're all running from that feeling of like loneliness. So.
And I think it's so good because, like, this conversation is also speaking to me. Like,
Yeah.
how many clones do I have out there?
For sure.
Like, how many fake Nathans are out there?
Yeah.
Like, how many people do I meet and talk to? Like, do I have to give the fake Nathan to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of it is fear.
Yeah.
People might not like me for real.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? If you know who I really am, you might not like me. So, but that is, that's not normal.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
Like, that's not normal.
No, it ain't.
Like, if something in my head has told me I gotta act like this because I don't know if this person gonna like me,
Mm-hmm.
that means that A, like I said, that's not normal, and B, you're always gonna have some kind of tug of war in that relationship. Like, it's gonna be the fake you trying to keep up this image with this person, and you can only keep it up for so long before it's just like, this is me.
For so long. Yeah, for sure.
This is me. I'm actually fat. I'm ugly.
Yeah.
My feet are ugly. Like, this is me. Like, I can't hide it no more.
Yeah.
And if you just would have been 100 with yourself in the beginning and with that person, it don't matter what situation it is. Like, give that person an opportunity to, for example, there's some women, and women don't get mad at me, but there's some women who put on.
I'm gonna check you too. I'm gonna check you too.
Listen.
All right.
Real talk. There's some women that put on a ton of makeup. I'm okay with that, but I need to see before we take this to the levels above levels. What do you really look like? Right? Like, and I'm not just talking about makeup. I'm talking about spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
physically, like who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like it's so easy in America to put filters on everything, bro.
For sure.
Like real talk, like it's a filter on everything, and then when you meet them, we use a term. It's called catfish. I've been catfished. You know what I'm saying? Not just with looks, but like,
Yeah.
man, you fell in love with this personality. You actually really know this person. You've been catfished. Like that's not their real personality.
Yeah. Or
You
it
know what I'm
could be
saying? I've been
it
catfished.
could be their real personality, but it's not their real like them. You know what I mean? Like as far as face and
No,
body
man,
features.
be real,
Oh
bro.
yeah,
That's
one hundred
all I'm
percent,
saying. Be
100%.
real. That
Well, I
should be
mean,
the new normal.
but I mean, we can kind of equate that with the fellas, right? Like whenever you meet a girl, you're never your true self. Most dudes aren't their true authentic self. They try to act like what they assume that woman to like, right? And then after about
Hmm.
6 months to 18 months, then they become their true self. And the chick is probably like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like 7 months ago you were this way and now you this way. Like which one are you? Right? And now he is being who he is, and they're not meshing because, he's now, being, his true authentic self. So I
Well,
mean, we can kind of equate
I
it like,
mean, do women really want a Negro to be his true authentic self? Because let me take it back.
uh-huh,
This brother paid $100
uh-huh,
and tipped $2.
for sure.
Would you rather him pay 100 tip 50? She fall in love head over heels and realize this Negro really is a small temper.
Yeah,
Like, which one would you rather have? The person that tips big and is fronting for you, or the person that's letting you know, yo, like I rock with you. I'm shifting the $2. Like, you know what I'm saying?
do
So, but
you
she
I think
ran.
I think that's the reason why there is, the divorce rate's at like 50%, close to 50%. The divorce rate in America is at close to 50%. And you know why that is? It's because with no one's showing them like who their true self is, and so once they understand and see, they're turned off by it. And at that point now it's too late, especially if you got kids, and now you have to feel like you have to force yourself to taking care of the kids and making sure like they're good before you move on, or you just like move on in general. Like I feel like it's just that's just what America is. It's everyone's trying to walk around with all these masks on and say I'm not this or I'm not that. But when it all boils down to it, you are who you are. Love it, accept it, and move on.
Well, true, and that's why I'm not critical. I'm not critical of people who drive. Let's say you might hear somebody, man, that dude got 5 cars in his driveway, right? That dude
Yeah,
got two, houses all over the place. He has, but I'm not critical of this person that's driving or have 10 cars or have 7 cars. You know why? Because that's their normal. You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
If How many cars do you got?
Two. Yeah,
Well, you
we we,
had three
we
and you gave one away.
well we have four, but we gave two away, and so we have two.
So for a person to have 4 cars in America to somebody that is not at, of means like you are,
Yeah,
they would say to you, "Why do you need that many cars?"
for sure.
Right?
Yeah,
Somebody with 1 car, So this rabbit hole of can go down so many levels to where it's like, don't judge somebody at the level that they're at, or don't judge somebody because you feel like it ain't necessary for them to have that. that's just not your normal.
For sure.
You feel me? Like if somebody wants to go buy a painting for $1 million, you will internalize that in your head and start thinking about all the people that, man, I could help my mama, my daddy, man, I could buy everybody in the hood a car. No, you won't. You won't do it. There's plenty of millionaires who probably thought like that, became millionaires, and realized you can't help everybody.
You can't help everybody.
Feel me? But it's just defining a new normal, and to kind of go back into the conversation of when Kara said she wanted a house. So let me ask you, what's your thoughts on success? Do you feel like success is, like, what do you define success, right? And don't be all philosophical Gandhi with this shit either, nigga. Like,
yeah, I got you.
Let's put money into success. You know what I'm saying? There ain't too many people that are just uber happy and that ain't got no money.
Yeah. Success for me, unlimited possibilities.
What that mean? Unlimited possibilities, bro. That's what I'm saying. This cat get on here and be Gandhi, bro.
I thought that was
unlimited possibilities. Like, what does that mean? Unlimited possibilities.
Success is.
Feel me? Like, what's that mean, bro?
I mean, it's success is what you make it. So it's. There's beauty in kind of what you were talking about the other day on, I think, your second or third podcast about the general studies versus learning a craft. And so success is learning a craft, and from that craft, taking it and doing like things that you never thought you would have done with that craft. Does that make sense? So I mean, so you started a cleaning company, right? And so from that cleaning company, the juices started to flow, created Time Clock Killers, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's just one of those things where, you know, being good at one thing, figuring it out, what you're good at, and then expanding it to the different genres of business, man. I think that is success. I think if you can find ways to bring in, you know, income, you know, from your business and from other places, I think that is a level of success. And also, man, to boil it down, like the people in your life, right? Like we have a pretty tight family, and I want to see them all make it, right? And so my motivation and my drive, you know, one of them is to make sure, like, if they're not there, then I'm going to help put them there, so that, you know, at the end of the day, we can look back and that's the beauty of it, helping each other out, making sure each other are taken care of, and then we can look back and see, like, we've all made it, and we've left something for the next generation.
Okay. All right. So, you know, if, you know, my success, man, is such a weird thing between people, but me personally, I think that everybody has a possibility to be successful. Like, everybody.
For sure.
And I think what you said was a really good point. Like, it really just boils down to knowledge. Like, my favorite saying is, information changes situation. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have the right information, you can kiss success goodbye. Like, bro, you need the right information with relationships.
Yeah.
You need the right information with marriage. You need the right information in every aspect of your life. And the people that are clicking on all cylinders, bro, are the people who have the right. There's information. We live in an informational world. Like, it is very possible for you to base your whole life off of the wrong information and be wondering, like, man, how come my life didn't turn out, or how come my life ain't going how it was needing to go?
For sure.
Possibly because you got the wrong information. You know what I'm saying? So success to me is to go back to your point that you made earlier in the podcast, solidarity with oneself.
For sure.
Like, bro, when I wake up out the bed, I don't want no clones meeting, nothing. I want, man, if you meet me, this is who you meet.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a camera at my house, and it was to be watching me 24/7, it would be the same person. Now, don't do that. Don't put a camera in my house just yet. I'm still getting there.
Hey,
you feel me?
Hey, mine too, man.
Me?
They be like, say, bro,
like,
how he be talking like that? He be doing.
Man, hey, put the camera underneath the bed. When I say pull the camera out, hey, you feel me? So, but I'm laughing, but bro, it starts at the crib.
For sure.
I gotta be solid at home, 24.
Yeah.
Before I go out there right now, I don't put nothing in here right now. I'm still getting it together. You feel me? So now I'm not like beat my wife in that. Don't get the wrong idea, guys. But
Well,
so,
I mean, because you have to have that conversation with me. You know what
I mean? We know you, Nathan. The philosophical way to.
Well, it's not even philosophical.
All right, come on, bro. Just tell me the real, man.
It's not even philosophical. Like, I thought that was like, you know, on layman terms. I mean, when you ask me, everything is possible when it comes to success. So no.
But that's another point. That's gonna be another podcast. Nick, bro, set realistic expectations.
For sure.
Everything ain't possible, bro. Like, it's not possible. Everything ain't possible, right? Like, it ain't possible for you to go to the NFL right now.
Well, I mean,
is it possible for you to go to the NFL right now? Yes or no? Hey, he's in the cap out here, bro. I knew it.
Yeah. Like, so when you say NFL, what are you saying? Like, am I going to be suited up? Or can I be a coach in the NFL?
No. Is it possible for you to play in the NFL
when I talk, like, people who are successful are not going to set like goals that are not going to benefit them in their lives. Does that make sense? Like, I'm saying anything is possible, like in your field, in your genre. If there's something that you're good at, don't limit yourself to like, well, I just want to be a doctor, or why not be the doctor of the best, you know, hospital in the land? Like, don't limit, or why not create your own doctor, your own hospital, and that hospital become the best in the land? Like, don't limit yourself if you're doing something in your career, and you're good at it and you're being successful with it. Don't just put like, oh, I just want to do this, right? But yeah, you got to have some type of, like, you know, you got to use your brain in that situation. You just can't at 40 still, like, you know, be a rapper. You know, there's a couple of guys who at 40 were rappers, but at the end of the day, like, you know, if you're at 40 and you're still trying to rap, I mean, to each his own. Like, I hope you make it, but at some point you have to figure something else out.
Well, this is my thing. You can rap, but if you have kids and rapping is taken away from you taking care of your kids, it's time that you give up rapping.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you can take care of your family and rap as a hobby, do your thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not under the impression that, like, you have to do what you love, bro, because, like I said on one of my last podcasts, bro, so many people don't know what they love to do.
For sure.
You know, like a lot of us as brothers, we love to hoop. Like, man, what do you love to do on your free time? Man, I love to play basketball. I love to play, you know, flag football. Bro, if you ask like really successful people, like what do they love to do? It ain't no. It ain't. A lot of times it ain't no sports activity.
Yeah, it's reading.
It's reading.
Learning
It's
about
courses.
the stock market.
It's learning.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's two different things of thought processes.
And
so
I mean, like, but I also feel you can have a couple of hobbies. Like if hooping is your only hobby, we got issues. If you 30,
sure.
if you 36, got one job and hooping is your hobby, my guy, we got to figure something else out because you know hooping ain't gonna get you anything at that point. So I mean, you hoop to have fun, lose weight, whatever, but also find another hobby that could potentially, you know. So sometimes, you know, those hobbies aren't going to make you money, but that peace of mind when you do that hobby, I mean, that's where it's at. You know what I mean? Like that's where you want to be. Like we're always looking for. I'm a big component of mental health, and I'll always talk about like, you know, finding things that you can do to kind of relax your mind, relax your body, because this world is tough. Each and every day when you wake up, you have to get up there and you have to fight. Like every inch you have to fight for. It's never going to be easy. So you have to find ways to relax. So yeah. So if you're 36 and you're a hooper, cool, but find something else.
Yeah. But the fighting, to going back to what's normal. Like, I don't think it's normal to have to wake up and fight like a dog every single day.
Well, not
I can understand.
Not every single day, but
every other day.
But there are days where you're just gonna be like, man, like I don't want to, but you do it anyway because you know you've gotten this far because of it.
But can we normalize? But to that point, there's like you said, there's days that you get up and you don't want to. Like, the more you get up and start doing the things you don't want to do, you start to normalize doing the hard stuff and getting it over with, and it doesn't become difficult anymore. Well, like, I know I gotta get up and do this. Like, it is what it is. You know.
See, I don't know if I agree with you on that instance.
Okay, so
it is.
For example, you working out though, right? You try and get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, correct?
Correct.
It has been difficult, right?
Correct.
Now, it's not just difficult. Your body is telling you because you have trained your mind and your body to do something a certain way for so long. And when you break out of that training to train your body to do something different, it is like, man, this is tough. Like, you might not wake up at 3 or 4. You might have to coach yourself through it. You have to do a whole lot of things to internalize, why the hell am I getting up this early?
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, difficult is only difficult because we're not trained for that area. When I first started my company, it was difficult, bro. Like, it was difficult to get accounts. It was difficult to figure out how to do certain stuff. But the more I got up, the more I dived into it, the more I got into it. A year later, it's no longer difficult. So this is a question that I pose to you. Is difficult a thing of is difficult temporary, right? Like, for example, it's difficult when you first starting off something, and then as you do it, it becomes normal. So is difficult a reason why most people choose to remain average? And I think it's two schools of thought. I think people who remain average look at difficult from the standpoint of, this is hard, I'm not going to do it. Our bodies are like, they go into self-preservation mode whenever we want to do something different, right? So The one person says this is difficult. I'm not gonna wake up at 3. I'm not gonna wake up at 4. Or they might do it for a month or two, and basically their psyche has won. Like okay, I'm not gonna do it. So they look up a year from now and they wonder, I have not lost weight. I've probably gotten more out of shape than I did a year ago. Or the person that looks at difficulty from a normalized perspective. It is normal for me to be in an uncomfortable situation because in that uncomfortable situation is where growth happens, right?
Yeah,
So
but see
speak
that,
to those two school of thoughts, though.
but see
Speak
that
to those school of thoughts.
that's why I enjoy difficult. And so let me. So I'm a different breed than other people. Every day is a difficult day because I am trying to reach the max of that day. If that makes sense.
Uh, kind of, but
So
kind of like
so
kind
so
of go into it.
so I am trying to maximize my day every single day, right? And you're aware, you're trying to figure things out. You're trying to make that next day better. Even if you have days that aren't, the best. And when I say difficult, there are some days where you're depressed. That depression don't last days. That sometimes lasts, weeks and months. And so even
Years.
even in that depression, you're still getting up and you're still moving forward because life at some point is going to shift. And so when I say difficult, it's not like a uh, difficult because I have to get up and whatever. It's difficult because like I know after I get done with this, it's going to be running. We want to be figuring out like what can we do today to maximize it. Like I used to be that person like that could like hang out and watch TV and play the game for a little bit and then kind of well I can't do that anymore. Like it's like I have to constantly be like moving forward and figuring things out. And so that becomes difficult.
So okay, so difficult to you. You've pretty much came up with your own definition of difficult in order
Yeah.
to kind of maintain. So your normal is understanding that when I wake up, I don't know, bro. I mean, I have to give you a little pushback. I don't think the word like how you explained it. I don't think that the word will be called difficult. You know what I'm
So
saying? Like,
I have you know I have
what was that? A vibrator?
go
I don't care.
it's
Say, man. He said,
it's it's a massager, bro, but you can use it for a vibrator. You feel me?
stupid, bro.
Yeah, you can use it. No, I'm just playing. Now what we
I
talking
always
about?
knew you had one of the things down there.
Oh yes, sir. What were you talking about? Totally forgot.
The word difficult. So you was using difficult, but I don't know if the use of the word in your situation would be called difficult because you're saying. I mean, I don't difficult. When people hear difficult,
Mm-hmm.
like it's like a math question that they didn't study for, that they have to like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
the definition of
So,
difficult starters?
so
Like,
so now, so you're I think you're finna get to that level, right? And so now, you know, each day I have my own goals for each sections or for each company that I have, right? So I have goals for the Crisis Center of West Texas. I have things I have to do for the YOLO program. I have things I have to do for Excellence Above Talent, and I still have things I have to do for me, right? And so pushing all that together, right? Because I broke it down to make it more so I can see versus just being all mumble jumbled, right? And
for sure.
so there are things that you're going to have to do that I'm going to have to do in order for me to have like a successful day.
Okay.
right? And so, getting up, reading and praying, you know, learning something new, reading a book. I'm into like reading a book a week, and I just finished Story Brand. It's a very good book. I would I would
Oh,
say,
I actually bought it 2 days ago,
yeah,
so I'll be
yeah,
reading it too. Yeah.
yeah. I gave myself like, I hadn't read a book this week, and I gave myself. I woke up on Friday like I gotta read a book, and then I put it on for Friday, and I was like, things are happening Friday. I'm not gonna make it Friday. I'm gonna give myself that till Sunday.
Mm.
Finish the book Sunday, right? And I learned a lot from that book. But it's just like today, I didn't really want to get out, right? I wanted to just hang out at the house, not do anything. But I was like, no, let's go make some money, right? Let's go do DoorDash. Let's go do Instacart. And so whenever I say difficult, man, these are the choices that I'm making that are difficult. Like
So the
they're
choice. Okay. So the
yeah,
choices
the
are
choices
difficult.
the choices are difficult.
Got you.
Yeah. So
Got
the
you.
choice to either stay in the bed where it's
Or get
warm,
up and go to work. Yeah. Yeah.
or get up out the cold, do your little daily ritual, pee, brush your teeth, you know, get ready for the gym and go to the gym. In the gym it's cold, you know what I mean? And so it's cold all over the place. Ain't no heater in the gym. It's straight. Like if it's 25 degrees outside, it's 25 degrees in there.
Mm,
Right. And so then yeah, it's difficult. But once you start it, then it becomes a whole lot easier.
for sure.
So
It
I think
becomes normal.
yeah. So but I think like if it's that, you know, that figuring out process, the getting up in the morning, the pushing yourself to be the best you, to be excellent in everything that you do. Um, it takes a lot of energy. That's why I'm big on like energy. You can't have my energy because I'm too focused on propelling myself to that next level for the next day and for the next day. And so you can't have my energy because then if I give it to you, then I'm not getting pushed the way I need to get pushed. And then that's where a lot of me looking around, feeling like I'm not doing enough starts coming in.
Okay. So, man, I think we'll leave definitely on that note. Man, appreciate you for coming on and meeting with meeting with me. We definitely probably gonna be doing a lot more of these. You know, depending on just to have good conversations. I think we had a good conversation, and to kind of sum everything up. A few things, a few like notes that you can leave with today is um, the first one is make sure that you become your mind, body, spirit, and soul becomes in solidarity with. They become aligned. You know what I mean? So the first thing is get aligned with your spirit. Like don't be, like A-Aron said, don't don't be so many different people out in the world. Figure out who you are and own it and be you everywhere you go. You wake up, you understand this is what I'm gonna get. The second thing is defining your new normal. We just had a conversation about difficulties. Um, Difficulties is a beautiful thing because depending on, especially if you're trying to grow, there is no growth without difficulty. Like, but once you get there, that becomes normal to you. Like, if you're eating uh, caviar for the first time, then you're probably blown away. Like, oh my gosh, this was so good. Like, oh, man, you're going to go back, tell all your friends, man, I had caviar for the first time. But if you eat caviar 6 months straight, like every other day, that is not, you might see somebody that says, man, I just had caviar. You're going to look at that person and be like, cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you understand that used to be you, but that became your normal. So think about what you want to do in life. Think about who you want to become, think about where you are and go strive for that. Like, go big, because the more you do that thing, the more normal it becomes to you, you know? And that is the most beautiful feeling ever. Like when something was so difficult starting off, and after a year, it's almost like, man, I can't even believe I'm at, you know what I'm saying? Like it becomes so, defining your new normal is something that I would suggest to my audience.
But I would also kind of push back too, just a little bit. Michael Jordan
Sure.
found difficulties in what he did because he didn't want it to be the normal.
Oh, 100%.
That to me is why he became so great.
Oh, 100%.
So I feel like sometimes in life you have to push yourself to find some difficulties in life, because that's what's going to push you to excel in what you do.
Perfect, man. We'll definitely, like I said, appreciate you for coming on, man.
Sir.
I really like having these conversations. We'll have to even look at having these a little bit more frequent, maybe once or twice a month.
Or starting our own podcast, which I had already put it out there,
Hey, that's too, man. Depending on the feedback, depending on the feedback. Well, I'm supposed to have a co-host, but she, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, you never know what can happen. So.
Yeah, but we would have to probably change the name, because I don't know if I'd
Yeah, no, I'm not tripping on that. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. One thing that I love about myself, and we was talking about self-love, right?
Oh, for sure.
Is my siblings say that I am they did a test and they said who's the most, what was it? The most
crybaby-ish?
You stupid. But if we can lose ego as a man.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like
100.
There's like levels to eat. There's like boxes of ego. Like, I'm not saying lose it all together, because it is good to have some pride and ego in certain things.
For
but
sure.
in certain things, it's just not necessary.
It is not necessary.
It's just not necessary. You know what I'm saying? So if it's changing the name, I don't have no ego in that.
We're not gonna fight. We're not gonna fight over it. That's what you're saying?
Nah.
I feel
as long as I'm the co-host, as long as I'm the host and you the co-host.
See. You know what?
You feel me? As long as I'm the host and you the co-host, you should have no ego about that.
Listen, and that's 100% okay. But then after a while, people are gonna be like, "Who the host and who the co-host?" Because they know, Hey, eagles fly on top, baby. Eagles fly on top.
Hey, but you know who fly higher than the eagle?
Who?
That buzzard eating off that eagle back.
What? What?
Bro, I literally just read a post.
Buzzards don't fly higher than eagles, bro.
All right, well, it's not a buzzard. I literally just read a post that said there is a bird that goes on the eagle's back and is like chilling. Like, I don't know if he eats.
I mean, do you want to be that? You want to be that bird, bro?
Nah,
that's a free ride bird, bro.
Man, I don't know why I said that, but anyway, so all right, man. So anyway, man, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Once again, Aaron, where can they find you at, man?
So I'm on excellenceabovetalent.com. I'm getting I'm getting my website fixed, man. I have to cut it out, and I have to get it. I'm going to get a new one up. Okay. Instagram, Facebook. I have a YouTube channel, Excellence Above Talent. And it's, man, I'm all about just spreading that love, just spreading positive love, good vibes, good energy. Life is too short for any of the other the BS. And so,
Cool.
for anything you see on my posts, is just going to be of uplifting and enlightening.
Cool. And you can find us at Time Clock Killers Everything. Check out our website. We just dropped these hoodies.
Cold-blooded.
Pretty dope. Really good quality. And it's the same thing. We want to spread love, but we also want to spread knowledge, because we understand that a lot of people are in some tough situations, and it's just good to have a community. So Time Clock Killers isn't about me. It's about it's a community thing. You know what I mean? So I would say that A-Aron is a time clock killer because he does things that he wants to do. You know what I mean? If you're not affected by the time clock, even if you work a job and you're not affected by the time clock, you're a time clock killer. But if you go to work and, man, you can't wait to get off and you hate your job, we want to bring you on this side. You know what I'm saying?
And the weekends are like the great, weekends are what you look forward to. Weekends, working just as hard as on weekdays.
If not harder. You know what I mean? So,
for sure.
Man, like I said, thank you, bro.
For sure.
If you guys have any questions, let us know. This will hopefully, we said some things that will help you out. Any last words, man, before we get up out of here?
No, it was a pleasure, little brother.
See y'all next week, man.
So as you can tell, it sounds like I was recording from jail. Promise you I was not in jail. I just had a different mic that I was using. Turned out to not be very well. So come back next week. I promise you the quality of the sound will be 10 times better. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast, and we can't wait to see you next week. And remember, kill the time clock and do not let the time clock kill you.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, to keep up with all things TCK, follow us at Time Clock Killers on all social media platforms.